Here are your days of our lives. Photo spoilers for Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. Johnny's trial is taking its toll on everyone, especially the defendant and prosecuting attorney. Poor Johnny has his dad defending him and his aunt trying to send him to jail. But he knows it's her job and tells Belle he has no hard feelings. However, neither one likes the stunts that EJ has been trying in court. EJ and Belle are no longer an item thanks to EJ exposing their relationship to all. Johnny feels bad, but Belle now realizes that EJ hasn't really changed at all. Belle doesn't want to convince the jury that Johnny is guilty, but she has to do what she took an oath to do as district attorney. One member of the jury can't stop thinking about the case, but is doing his best not to talk about it. However, this juror is Leo Stark, so not gossiping is easier said than done. Leo and Javi share some close moments in the Hernandez kitchen with Tesoro. Will Leo slip up and say something that he shouldn't? When court finally begins, Rachel will be taking the stand. The little girl is terrified she is going to say something that will send Johnny to jail, but Brady and Kristen try to reassure her that she only has to tell the truth. Johnny ponders what's next at his trial when he thinks he will have some moments alone in the courtroom. Johnny and Belle hate their situation, as Belle knows in her heart that her nephew did not try to kill EJ. The trial is taking its toll on everyone. Leo and Javi look fascinated by a note. Will they find new information about who really left Tesoro at the firehouse? Leo and Javi are ready for another busy day. Leo needs to head to court to perform his juror duties. Rachel is terrified to testify against Johnny and wonders if she will end up sending him to prison. Please note that if you purchase something by clicking on a link within this story, we may receive a small commission of the sale. Chad breaks away from Kat's kiss as she lies on the couch, groggy from her fever. She recoils, worried she'll get him sick, and passes out again. Chad calls Kayla, who sends over antibiotics, and then calls Julie to relay he's not coming home, so as not to potentially get anyone else sick. After Chad tends to her, Kat's fever breaks, and she wakes up feeling better. Mortification sets in, though, as she wonders if she kissed him. Chad says it must have been a dream. A ranting Belle comes home with Marlena. Happy Sammy's not there to gloat over the situation. Marlena declares Sammy wouldn't do that because she knows what it's like to feel betrayed by EJ. Belle is pretty sure that wouldn't stop her. Mother and daughter dread facing EJ tomorrow, in a hypnosis session for the former and court for the latter. After Marlena leaves for a walk, Belle tries to work, but she grows angry and marches out of the penthouse. Replaying getting dumped by Belle in his mind at home, EJ pounds on the wet bar's ice bucket and winces in pain. After a glib interaction with Gwen, EJ gets a visit from his former lover, who yells at him again for what he did in court. EJ insists he only did it to save Johnny. Belle knows he also hates to lose, even to the woman he claims to love. She compares him to Stefano. No, wait, he's worse than Stefano because EJ pretends to have a soul. EJ genuinely apologizes for hurting her because he does love her with his whole heart. But Belle isn't feeling it. After the trial is over, she never wants to see or hear from him again. After Sarah makes a show of kissing Brady at the bistro, Brady blocks Xander's attempted punch. Gabby drags Xander out, and Sarah apologizes to an understanding Brady. Over breadsticks and salads, Sarah grows self-conscious over other patrons staring at them. She asks for a rain check on dinner, promising not to surprise kiss Brady again. In the square, Gabby lashes out at Xander for his drunken behavior and goes back to the bistro to pay the bill. Upon her return, she unsurprisingly reports that neither of them is welcome back anytime soon. When Sarah and Brady leave the restaurant, a contrite Xander apologizes, but neither is receptive. He insists nothing like this will happen again. On that, Sarah can agree. Once alone, Sarah tells Xander how sick she is of his empty promises and orders him to start his anger management session with Marlena tomorrow, or their custody agreement is null and void. Said doctor coincidentally appears while on her stroll and leads Xander to her office to talk. Sarah's night goes from bad to worse when Gwen approaches to needle her about her failing marriage. Sarah assures her she's moving on from that chaos, to which Gwen replies, Xander's moving on too, with her. Thrown, Sarah informs her that he and Gabby kissed. No matter, what Gwen and Xander have is real. They picked back up like Sarah never even existed. Sarah doesn't believe her, so Gwen smugly suggests she consult with Leo, who saw them go into the Salem Inn together. Gabby and Brady wander to the pub, where Brady warns her to stay clear of Xander. Over milkshakes and fries, Gabby gets Brady to delve into his feelings about working for Xander at Basic Black. Brady wanted to keep his father's legacy alive with the company, but he feels like he's letting John down. He's made so many mistakes over the years. Gabby counters that Brady is honest, decent, and loyal, just like John, who wasn't perfect. John's hero status is a lot to live up to, but it isn't his job. Maybe it should be, Brady says. This town needs someone to step up in John's absence. Maybe that starts with Titan DiMera. Gabby thinks he should stick it out a little bit longer, since Xander is going to anger management counseling. Brady has no faith in that turning Xander's psyche around. You never know, Gabby coyly says, sipping her shake. With coffees in her office, Marlena gets Xander to admit he's scared of his temper. He begs her for help so he doesn't lose his daughter. But why would she even do that, considering what he did to her? Marlena points out her many conflicts of interest she's taken on other patients who have done her harm. He just needs to be willing to be open and vulnerable for this to work. Xander assures her he is. Welcome to the Days of Our Lives Daily YAPP. For a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. Gabby Hernandez is hard at work doing Tony's bidding. She knows that if she gets DiMera Enterprises back in DiMera hands, it will be more lucrative for her than if it remains a merged company with Titan. Plus, Tony has promised her the moon, and she plans to collect. Her plan to cozy up to Xander is going well, but now Gabby has decided to move on to Brady to see how much dirt she can get on Xander to bring back to Tony. The problem is, she is so obvious with both men, but both are completely oblivious. Since when would Gabby ever ask Xander out on a date, much less grab Xander and kiss him? Her questions sound like she is fishing for information that Gabby would not typically fish for. When she got Brady alone at the Brady pub later, she went on another fishing expedition, about Xander, of course. Brady just yammered on and answered anything Gabby wanted to know because, apparently, this was not suspicious at all. Gabby and Brady had never actually been friends before. In fact, she played a dirty trick on him with Stefan back in 2023, regarding custody of Rachel. Brady would never give Gabby company and family information so casually. So, it looks like two men have been dumbed down for plot purposes, and it just doesn't work. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full DOOL recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously, do not, forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Celebrity Dirty Laundry and Soap Hub spoilers for the upcoming week's episodes of Days of Our Lives, airing from August 11th to August 15th, 2025, suggest that things will get dramatic in Salem. Spoilers reveal that Sarah Horton Kyriakis will end up kissing Brady Black just to get back at Gabby Hernandez and Xander Kyriakis, and then apologize to Brady as well. Meanwhile, Tate Black will attempt to write a letter to the adoptive parents of Sophia Choi and his child to find out more information. However, Sophia will ask Melinda Trask to help her keep her lies under wraps. In addition to these developments, Gabby will advise Xander to try to handle his family issues better and push him to seek help from Marlena Evans. In the upcoming week's episodes of Days of Our Lives, spoilers reveal that Sarah Horton Kyriakis will end up apologizing to Brady Black for kissing him, just to try to retaliate against Gabby Hernandez and Xander Kyriakis. Xander will end up getting extremely jealous and might try to hurl insults at Brady. Spoilers reveal that Brady would make it clear to Sarah that he did not mind her kissing him in public. Spoilers hint that Brady will tell Sarah a few things, that would make her feel more inclined to pursue a relationship with Brady. In the upcoming week's episodes of the show, Sarah will also find it difficult to keep the secret regarding Sophia Choi's baby under wraps from Brady. Spoilers for the upcoming week's episodes of Days of Our Lives reveal that Tate Black will write a letter to the adoptive parents who had adopted his and Sophia Choi's baby. However, he would still be unaware that Sophia had given up the baby to the fire department and Rafe Hernandez had been taking care of him, along with Leo Stark and Javi Hernandez. Spoilers reveal that Sophia Choi would take help from Melinda Trask to keep her lies under wraps. Melinda would end up writing back to Tate's letter and say that the adoptive parents had asked for some private bonding time. In the upcoming week's episodes of Days of Our Lives, spoilers reveal that Gabby Hernandez will scold Xander Kiriakis for how he handled the situation regarding Sarah Horton Kiriakis and Brady Black at the bistro. Spoilers reveal that Gabby would urge him to find outlets and ways to deal with his anger management issues. In the coming week's episodes of the show, Marlena Evans will potentially end up helping Xander out with a few sessions to help with his mental health issues. Xander would admit he had been struggling with anger issues. Here's what happens next in Salem. Days of Our Lives spoilers photos for the August 12th, 25 episode tease the calm before the courtroom chaos. It's going to be a chill day for Jo, but a hectic day for everyone at Johnny's trial. Leo and Javi have a chill day at home before Leo heads to court. Rachel arrives to testify at Johnny's trial and receives support from Kristen and Brady. When Johnny walks into the courtroom and sees Belle, is she there as the DA? Or has she been forced to recuse herself after EJ's latest move? Plus, Brady and Belle kept John's memory alive. The soulless walk the earth, especially in Salem in the Monday, August 11th episode of Days of Our Lives. Belle called EJ soulless. Gwen was pretty soulless as she threw her kissing session with Xander in Sarah's face. Xander could be considered soulless when he's angry, but when it comes right down to it, he isn't. Instead, he's a hot mess of conflicting emotions. It was pretty satisfying to see Belle go over to the DiMera mansion and rip into EJ like she couldn't in the courtroom. She probably had to get her bearings after experiencing professional humiliation. The best part of the heated conversation happened when she compared EJ to Stefano in front of the man's portrait. She told her ex-lover that he does the same thing that Stefano did. He does something horrible and makes the excuse that he did it to protect this person or that person he loves, as if that's supposed to excuse his actions. It doesn't. She told him that he pretended to have a soul, and she even played the pawn card. Stefano did that with John, and EJ just did that to Belle. Using that word was deliberate and laced with so much history. Belle will not let EJ get away with treating her like that. So if he ever does anything else untoward or shady during the trial again, she will file a complaint with the state bar. Meanwhile, an inebriated Xander continued to do himself no favors. Gabby and Xander were banned from the bistro. Later, in HTS, they encountered Brady and Sarah again, where things went from bad to worse. After Brady and Gabby made their excuses and went off together, Sarah told Xander that if he doesn't start anger management therapy tomorrow, she will have to revisit their custody agreement. Xander agreed to see Marlena, but so far, he hadn't even called her to set up an appointment. Thankfully, Marlena entered the conversation and agreed to see Xander despite everything he's ever done to her and her family. In her office, he admitted that his anger is a big issue for him and that he loses control of it. But he also asked for Marlena's help. The doctor warned him however, that he would need to be vulnerable for this to work. Will Xander take these anger management sessions seriously? Gabby and Brady actually had a nice conversation over fries and shakes at the pub. They talked about the Titan DiMera of it all, as well as Basic Black and Gabi Chic. Brady is putting pressure on himself to live up to John's legacy. After all, the man had saved the world once or twice. He told Gabby that he wanted to be that person who steps up for the community. Is Brady just about ready to step up again at Titan? Finally, how does Gwen just walk around Salem making baseless accusations and exaggerations? Today, she told Sarah that she and Sarah picked up where they left off, and that it's like Sarah never even existed. That was just needlessly cruel. Here's your Days of Our Lives recap for Friday, August 8th, 2025. When Belle dumped EJ, Kat fell ill, and Xander and Sarah made one another jealous. Kat ran into Chad at the hospital, and she explained that she had brought Felicity in because she had a fever and rash. Sarah informed Kat that Felicity had strep throat. "I'm glad Felicity is going to be okay," Chad said. Chad suggested that Kat take Felicity home, and he would wait for the prescription. After Kat took Felicity home and put her to bed, Chad arrived with Felicity's medicine. Kat thanked Chad profusely. Kat swooned, and Chad felt her forehead. "You're burning up," Chad said. Kat ordered Chad to leave before he caught strep. "I think I've already been exposed," Chad said. Chad announced that he would stay and help out. While Chad retrieved cold medicine from the bathroom, Kat texted Rafe to tell him that she would be unable to meet with him because she was ill. Chad gave Kat the cold medicine, and he put a cold compress on her forehead. "I should have told you," Kat muttered in her sleep. Chad leaned in to brush the hair from Kat's face. Kat groggily opened her eyes, and she kissed Chad. Marlena was walking through the town square when Brady called out to her. "Sammy can't stick around for the trial, huh?" Brady asked. Marlena explained that Johnny had insisted that Sammy return home to support Sydney. Brady said he was on the way to the post office to send a gift and a letter to the adoptive parents of Tate's baby. Marlena told Brady that she hoped Tate would get the chance to meet his child. In the courtroom, EJ pressed Johnny on the witness stand to define EJ's relationship to Belle. "She's your girlfriend," Johnny said. Belle objected. "My relationship with the opposing counsel has no bearing on the defendant's testimony," Belle argued. EJ asked for a mistrial based on Belle's conflict of interest. On the stand, Johnny shook his head and muttered, "God, Dad. What did you do?" The judge called for a recess. After Johnny was led away by the bailiff, the judge ordered EJ and Belle to approach the bench for a sidebar discussion. "You believe DA Blacken has a conflict of interest and is unable to prosecute this case because of your romantic relationship?" the judge asked. EJ said yes. The judge argued that it was hypocritical for EJ to make the argument this far into the trial when he had the same conflict of interest. The judge asked EJ if his plan was to kneecap his relationship in an effort to secure a mistrial. "That's exactly what he's doing, and it is despicable," Belle said. The judge asked about the length of the relationship, and Belle admitted that it had started before the trial. Belle stressed that there were no other conflicts. The judge reminded EJ that he had waived his right to any objections to the conflicts of interest at the start of the trial. The judge denied the motions for mistrial or to replace Belle. "And I would like to go on the record as stating that there will be no further conflicts of interest, as our relationship is no longer of concern to the court. Because as of this minute, we are no longer involved," Belle said. EJ refused to look Belle in the eye. In the hallway, Marlena stopped Johnny, and he explained what had happened. "My dad does care about Aunt Belle, I know that, but he is willing to throw it all away to get that mistrial," Johnny said. Johnny told Marlena that he felt like it was his fault. "However this plays out, it's on your father, not on you," Marlena said. An emotional Belle exited the courtroom, and Marlena reached for her. Belle refused to fall apart in public after EJ had humiliated her. Johnny returned to the courtroom, and he confronted his father. EJ reminded Johnny that Belle's job was to convict Johnny. "I will not apologize for trying to put a stop to that," EJ said. EJ said the judge had denied his motion, and Belle was still the prosecutor. "I know how happy you've been with Aunt Belle. Don't let me ruin that," Johnny said. "You didn't ruin anything, son. I did," EJ said. In the hallway, Belle told Marlena, "I should have listened to you from the beginning, but I assure you this, I will never forgive EJ for what he just did to me." EJ overheard Belle as he exited the courtroom with Johnny. When EJ said Belle's name, Marlena interrupted. "I think you've done enough damage for one day." Belle asked Marlena to go home so that she could speak privately to EJ in the courtroom. "You son of a bitch! How could you humiliate me like that in front of all those strangers and the jurors and my peers? How could you?" Belle yelled. I never intended to hurt you, EJ said. Belle argued that EJ did not care if he hurt people. That is what you do to anyone and everyone who gets in the way of what you want, Belle said. Belle told EJ that he was dead to her. As Brady was passing through the square, he ran into Sarah. Brady told Sarah about Tate's letter to the adoptive parents. Sarah thought about Sophia's secret. What's wrong, Brady's niece? Brady asked. Sarah skirted the truth, and she mentioned that she was having difficulty keeping a patient's secret. Brady invited Sarah to dinner. At the bistro, Gabby poured the rest of the bottle of wine into Xander's glass, and she asked the waiter to bring another bottle. Xander admitted he was relieved to have a relaxing evening. Gabby told Xander that she was impressed by his competency. You managed to accomplish the one thing your father never could. You brought Dimera to its knees, Gabby said. I was lucky, really, Xander said. Gabby noted that despite all of Xander's problems, he had handled the company well. If Victor were alive, he'd be so proud of you, Gabby said. Xander noted that he had heard that before, but he had not believed it was true. I know that despite everything that I've done for Titan, despite all I've accomplished in his name, my dearly departed father would still consider me the scum of the earth, Xander said before he downed his glass of wine. Gabby asked why Xander believed that. I'm talking about my personal life, and in that regard, Victor always considered me to be a world-class screw-up, Xander said. Xander reminded Gabby that Victor had made him work as the gardener. It's what Victor thought someone like me deserved, and who knows, maybe I did, Xander muttered. Xander gulped down another glass of wine. I didn't realize you and I had so much in common until just now, Gabby said. Gabby explained that she felt like her mother would be disappointed with her life choices. That voice of self-doubt in your head is not your father's. It's yours, Gabby said. Xander agreed. Xander admitted that his marriage had failed because of his own actions. Gabby asked Xander if he wanted to talk about it. I did something that I deeply regret, and she did something that I don't think I can ever forgive, Xander said. Ever? Gabby countered. I really don't see how, Xander whispered. Gabby asked Xander why he did not move on. If only it were that easy, Xander said. Easier than you might think, provided you have the right distraction, Gabby said. Gabby kissed Xander as Sarah walked in with Brady. Maybe we should try someplace else, Brady said. Xander noticed Sarah and he pulled away from Gabby. Sarah, Xander said. Sarah told Brady that she wanted to stay. Xander and I are separated. If this is how things are going to be, then I have to get used to it, Sarah said. Sarah took a seat that faced Xander's table. What do you want to talk about? Brady asked. Sarah held Brady's hand. Us! God knows we've been through so much together, Sarah said. You shouldn't have done that, Xander whispered. I got caught up in the moment, Gabby said. Xander noted that he did not want to antagonize Sarah. I kissed you, Gabby noted. With a groan, Xander said he shuddered to think what Sarah thought of him. Gabby argued that Sarah was likely jealous, and this was a good thing for Xander. Except that the last thing that I want to do is hurt Sarah more than I already have. Plus, we have Victoria's well-being to consider, Xander said. Gabby put her hand on Xander's. Co-parenting is never easy, and it's really sweet to see that you have a big heart underneath all that bravado, Gabby said. Gabby argued that Xander had not done anything wrong. Gabby added that Sarah had no issue spending time with Xander's nephew. So, what exactly is the issue here? Gabby asked. Xander agreed, but he stared over at Sarah as Gabby asked about Xander's plans with Philip. I have big plans for my brother, but unfortunately, none of it's legal, Xander muttered. Gabby said she thought Xander had repaired his relationship with Philip like he had with Brady. Xander glowered over at Sarah when he saw that she was holding Brady's hand. Xander jumped to his feet, knocking over his chair. What's going on? Sarah asked. Xander argued that since Sarah would rather spend her evening with Brady instead of Victoria, he wanted Victoria back. Brady told Xander that he could smell the alcohol on him, and he urged Xander to take a cab home. Sarah argued that Victoria was asleep with the nanny and she intended to stick to the custody schedule. Sarah told Xander that they were both welcome to make out with anyone they wanted. Sarah grabbed Brady and kissed him. Xander's mouth dropped open in horror.